Have you ever wanted to do something but stopped yourself because you thought about what somebody else might think, maybe even beforehand, what you think they might feel, not even knowing? We got to talk about it. Got to talk about it. So this is what I refer to as shrinking. Now, I'm not sure if this is an actual definition. This is just my lived experience, how things that have happened, how I view it. So anyway, I view shrinking as where you choose not to be your full self, choose not to authentically be you, choosing not to do certain things because of how you expect someone else to react. And it can come in a number of ways. So, hold on. So let me give you an example of one time when I was shrinking in my own life. I started working out maybe this 2026, like end of 2024. When you start getting a little fit or whatever, your clothes start feeling you a little snug. So I had went to the Nike store one day and I saw these shorts. It was like some running shorts. And I was like, oh, these is nice. But then when I tried them on, I was like, oh, these a little tight. Like, hold on, wait a minute. This is showing my results. It's really showing my results. And so I bought them, but I went like several months without wearing them because in my head, I was scared of like, I don't know, somebody's gonna fall out the sky. Anyway, I was scared of how people, whoever these people are, how I would be perceived, how I would be judged, like what the, you know, perception would be. And honestly, I made myself wear them. I remember that first time I went to the gym, it was leg day, and I was like, you know what, it's okay. Like, nothing's gonna happen. And you know what I did? I went in and I did my barbell squats and my, what's that thing? Bulgarian split squat and use on them. And I was like, I finished my workout and I was like, did nobody care? You done made up this whole thing in your head and nobody cared. Let's not do that no more. So that's just one example. It's many, many more. Like I said, there are so many types. Actually, let me go through a few of them because I just recognized over my life that there were different ways in which you could shrink yourself. So like how I had my story with my Nike shorts, I'm sure you have one as well. If you're, open to sharing, please comment below because I would love to hear about it because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. Don't be sitting up here making me act like I'm the only one that be overthinking sometimes. Let's get to the different type. Well, I'm not gonna go through all of them because it's a lot. Maybe in the future I'll like do a deep dive or whatever. But I'll just name like a couple of them just so you can understand what I mean when I say there's different types. For example, the story that I just gave about the Nike shorts, that would be what I consider the preemptive editor, meaning you are anticipating some type of judgment, some type of backlash, some type of something from something that you might do in the future. And so because of that anxiety that you feel from possibly doing that thing, you choose to not do it. That's one example that I've experienced. I'm sure you have as well. Another one would be the accommodator. So how I would define the accommodator, that's the person where you just basically just accommodate other people's whatever just because you don't want to ruffle feathers or you don't want to be disrespectful. I know in my life, I've observed this of myself a lot of times with where there's like some type of superiority, whether it's like older person or it could be like an authority figure or something like that. There's sometimes where that's what I would call accommodator, where you're just like, you know what, let me just do what they want to do because they think they right or they just gonna whatever. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm just not even gonna say nothing. So those are like two examples. I'm sure if you wanna, I was working on like coming up with a little something to like go through each one. If you think that would be helpful, let me know some feedback, what you think. But yeah, so those are a couple examples of the different types of shrinking. And then now I want to share with you kind of what has led us to this point to where I'm actually sitting here in front of a camera with a mic on talking about this. So there were 3 scenarios that occurred in my life. I want to say around, they were pretty close in time frame, probably all within a year of each other. And so after the third one, I was just like, you know what? I don't give a no more. And yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna say what I gotta say respectfully. So I was gonna be respectful. I'm not gonna, come for nobody, drag nobody, none of that. But I'm just gonna say how I feel. Let it be made known that I'm not doing whatever that was anymore. We're not doing that no more. And go from there. If you can already tell, I'm a little bit of a talker. It's funny because I'm like kind of shy and kind of introverted, but with the right people, we could talk all day, all night, all week, all year. So I'm gonna just give you like the little snippets, the little highlight of these, and maybe like sometime in the future, I'll go into more detail of each situation. So the first one, I'm trying to think what order they went in. Okay, so one of them was I had went to like this business event, and there was this dinner after the event, and mingle and talk about what was discussed at the seminar and stuff like that. And I am at the table, and somebody I never seen a day in my life, never in my life. This man says to me, "You need to help your community." And so I don't really know how to explain it to you. I could just tell you how I felt and what I knew that meant. When he said it and when he was looking at me, I could tell he meant gay people. I don't know how to tell. It's an intuition thing. I'm just telling you, that's what it was. And so I've never seen this man a day in my life. So I'm just looking at him and I'm like, and so I didn't say anything because I was just like, am I getting punked at a business dinner? And then this is how I know. This is how I know, even though I didn't say anything, that I caught what he was throwing out. Later on that night, he apologized to me. He was like, "Oh, I have a gay brother. We all knew he was different." And I'm like, why? I'm minding my business, trying to eat my food, and you, like, what? So that was one example. I didn't say anything at the time, but that was one thing. And there was more that happened there too. But again, that's a whole lot of. Then there was another situation where it was one day I was on my phone because we be scrolling and content consuming and all of that. And so I saw this video and I said, it was a video about Sade. And I was like, oh, I love me some Sade, no ordinary love. So I'm like, oh yeah, we love some Sade. And then I look at the video and I was like, that car looked familiar. And then I zoom in. I'm like, that's me. Child, I was driving home from work one night. Somebody done recorded me listening to my music while I'm sitting in traffic, posted online. Now we got all these comments. Oh, gay this, gay that, da 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 da. And I'm just like, I was minding my business, driving home from work, and now what? So again, I'm going into more detail on that later time. And then the third thing that happened where I was just like, I'm done with all of this. I'm done with all of it. I'm tired of people. I'm going to be me. If not for me, for the other people that are not yet at this point to where they're like, I don't give a I'm going to, period. And there was one time me and my bestie and his husband, we went out bowling. And after we went bowling, we went out to eat. And so we're at the table, we eating or whatever. And so Bestie is like, friend, I got something to tell you. I wanted to wait till we was in person. So he and I, we had went to another business retreat type thing. So he tells me that at the retreat, that someone that's supposed to be a mentor to the both of us pulled him to the side and said, let me get the quote right, says, tells Bestie, you need to be mindful of who you're around because some people are bad for business. And so I look at Bestie and Bestie look at me, and we both knew that person was talking about me because everybody was like, oh yeah, both of y'all coming from Atlanta. Yeah, y'all should get a flight together. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, now we got a problem and we ain't say nothing. And then we up here whispering around in behind my back. But then when you're in my face, you're, oh my God, I believe in you. You're going to be great. Da, 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 da. That really wore me out. And so after those three things, I was like, you know what? I'm done with it. It's, again, if it's not for me, it's for somebody else. This will be helpful to somebody else one day, sometime in the near future, okay? After those three scenarios specifically, where I actually recognized it and I actually felt the feeling and I said, something's gotta shift, that's when I said, you know what? I don't know what I'm calling this. Now I know I'm calling it refusing to shrink. But at the time, I didn't know what I was calling it. I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not dealing with this no more because I'm not doing anything harmful to anyone. I'm just simply living my life, minding my business, doing my best. We do our best, but it's not time for that yet. But we do our best. And yeah, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to get up here and I'm going to talk and I'm going to share and I'm going to relate, you know, and whoever needs it, period. Hey, how you doing? Can't wait to meet you one day. And that's that. I just say all that to say that if you leave with nothing from this video specifically, that you at least, if you've ever experienced any situations like this, or if you know, maybe kind of didn't really recognize it, just reflect over your own life. Be like, when have I ever experienced some type of situation like that? And just choose differently. Just choose differently next time. That's what I encourage you to do. But yes, thank you for listening all this time. Thank you for watching. And as always, we do our best and we let God do the rest.